A very good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel. So, friends, in this particular lecture, we are going to talk about the Israel-Palestine conflict. Friends, this lecture is very important for any kind of examination in India. This topic is also covered as a topic of international relation as well as a topic of history. So, friends, we will look all the incident in details in this particular video, and if you are new to my channel, then please subscribe and hit the like button. Before starting the topic in detail, I must introduce with some terms such as Dead Sea, West Bank, Gaza Strip, Golan Heights, Sinai Peninsula, because these places are always in the news and these are very important. And in this particular lecture, we will be talking about these places, these locations very often. So that's why the Dead Sea is a sea which is very saline, and it is located between Israel and Jordan. Friends, the Dead Sea is the same sea where nobody can sink. If any object in Dead Sea cannot sink, even if people are seen reading newspaper while sitting in the Dead Sea. And the West Bank, this is always in the news, and this is called West Bank because it is located on the western side of Jordan River. The third one is Gaza Strip. This is a small and thin strip which is a territory of Palestine but currently being controlled by Egypt. So this is an area which is located between Israel and Egypt. And Golan Heights, it is a disputed territory between Syria and Israel. And the Sinai Peninsula, it is nothing but an Egyptian territory. Now talking about the status of Jerusalem, then Jerusalem is a very important place, and Jerusalem is the holiest site of three religions, the Jews, Muslims and Christians. In the city of Jerusalem, a variety of population are living. In the eastern side, the population is Muslim majority. In the western side, it is Jewish majority, and in the center, all the holy sites are located. You can see here the names of famous holy sites. The first one is Al-Aqsa Mosque. This is the third holiest site for the Muslims after Makkah, Medina, and this is the same place from where Prophet Muhammad went to the heaven. And the western wall, this is the remains of the Solomon temple, which was built by a Jewish king 3000 years ago, and this is the place of worship for Jews. And the Dome of Rock, it is also called as the Solomon Temple. Now talking about the origin of conflict, then origin of conflict started during late 19th century when the Ottoman Empire began to fall, and also the rise of nationalism in Europe was very high, due to which the Jews were persecuted. If you know about the Germany Hitler, then Hitler persecuted and killed more than 50 lakh, more than 4.2 million Jews. And this incident is also called as Holocaust in the history. So due to the persecution of Jews throughout the Europe, most of the Jews, they faced migration and they started to go in the Palestinian territory because this was the only place in the world which was safe for the Jews. And also there was a journalist whose name was Theodor Herzl. He was a journalist and he influenced the people, and he gave a nation theory, and that is also called as the Jewish nation theory. And this concept is called as Zionism. So this is the map. You can see that the Palestinian territory, the Israel and Palestine, they were once a part of Ottoman Empire, but after the late 19th century and before the World War I, the Ottoman fallen, and hence this area went into the control of Britain, because Britain was the colonial power in the world. They had occupied India as well, and hence they had occupied the Arabian Peninsula, most of the parts of the Arabian Peninsula. And here the entry of Britain, it gives the origin and the specimen of dispute. The Balfour Declaration, it was given by Britain, under which the UK promised, the Britain promised Jewish settlement on Palestinian lands. They promised all the Jews in the Europe that you can come to the Palestine and I will settle you there. I will help you settle in the land of Palestine. So migration of Jews in huge number take place, and the Jewish population rose to 30% from just 3% in the 19th century during Ottoman Empire. So during the Ottoman Empire, only 3% in that Palestine area Jews were. But after the Balfour Declaration, about 30% of people were Jews. And also during Hitler regime, due to the Holocaust, more number of Jews came to this territory because this was the only place where Jews were safe. And the creation of Israel, while growing complexity, United Kingdom took this problem to the United Nations. When United Kingdom saw that this problem is very complex, then they went to the United Nations in 1945, and then United Nations gave a resolution in 1947, and they decided to divide the country of Palestine in two equal parts, the Jerusalem being controlled as per the international laws, and Israel as one nation came into being in 1948. But this incident, after this incident, the Arab country or the Muslim world, they were quite unhappy. So you can here see the map. The first map is the when there was only one country and Palestine, and in this map white color portion are the Jewish majority area. But after the resolution of United Nations, the Israel or the land of Palestine was divided into two halves. The green color went to the Palestinian Muslims, and the white color went to the Jewish people, Jewish people. Now I told you that Arabs were not happy, the Muslims were not happy, so they attack on the Israel. In 1948, the first Arab-Israel war took place. And the Egypt, Syria, Iraq, and Jordan, they jointly attacked newly created state of Israel. And but in this war, Israel won the war because Israel had also the support of United Kingdom and USA. USA always support Israel. And Israel not only won the war, but they also extended their own territory. But after this war, about more than 7 lakh Palestinian Muslims, they become refugee in their own state, in their own country. So you can see here the map that after the war of 1948, and when the war ended in 1949, then you can see the second map that Palestine, they have lost most of about half of their area, and now Palestine is only what United Nations has given. Now it is only half of it. And not only this, but after some years, the Arab country, they again invaded, they again attacked on Israel, because none of the Muslim countries, they were ready to accept Israel as a nation. In fact, today as well, most of the Islamic countries such as Pakistan, Iran, they do not recognize Israel as a nation. And Iran, they say that if they get the nuclear power, then they will destroy Israel. So all the Muslim countries, it is Egypt, Jordan, and Syria, they attacked on the Israel. And this is also called as the Second Arab-Israel War. But in this war, Israel won war in 6 days, and that's why it is called as the 6-day war. And not only Israel won, but Israel captured Golan Heights from Syria, Gaza from Egypt, and Sinai Peninsula also from Egypt. And finally, Israel triples its area. Now, area of Israel had tripled. You can see this. Again, after few years, the Muslims world, they attacked on the Israel, and that is called the Yom Kippur War. Friends, Yom Kippur is a very holiest festival in the Judaism, same like Diwali and Dasara in Hinduism. So it is also known as the Third Arab-Israel War, and in which Egypt and Syria, they try to regain their land, the lost land which they had lost in 6-day war. So Egypt tried to regain Sinai Peninsula and Golan Heights by Syria. So Egypt intention behind attacking Israel was that they should go and talk with Israel on the table. So in 1978, in the David Camp Accord, both the country Israel and Egypt, they had a talk, and in which the Sinai Peninsula was returned to Egypt, and Egypt recognizes state of Israel. So this was the first incident in the history of the world that any Islamic country, they recognize Israel as a nation, and this was really and obviously a diplomatic victory for Israel. But slowly most of the Arab states, they make peace with Israel, because now Muslims, the Arab country, they had realized that Israel is very strong and it is not easy to defeat Israel in the war. So most of the Arab countries, they make peace and settlement with Israel. But now the movement, now the fight was between the Israel and Palestine. Hence, the Israel-Arab conflict turns into Israel-Palestine conflict. And in 1964, the PLO was formed, the Palestine Liberation Organization. The main agenda of PLO is to liberate the country of Palestine. And the PLO, they form both the tactics, political as well as the terror tactics. And also there is a terrorist organization, that is Hamas. It was founded in 1987. But apart from terrorist organization, this organization also have a political wing, and they have a great influence among the Palestinian Muslims. So now talking about the Intifada, then Intifada is nothing but a freedom movement, Azadi ki ladai. So first Intifada started between 1987 to 1993. It was led by Palestinian Liberation Organization, and the second Intifada happened between 2000 and 2005, because in 2000 the Israeli Prime Minister went into the Dome of Rock with about 2000 Israeli soldiers, and due to this the Muslims, the Palestinian Muslim, they were not happy, and they started the second Intifada. Intifada is nothing but it is an uprising. It is like a freedom movement in which the people, they protest, they boycott the products of Israel. The similar like India had done with Britain during colonial period. And also the large scale violence took place. About thousands of Jews as well as the Muslims, they had died due to this Intifada process. And the protest in Jammu and Kashmir is totally influenced by this Intifada movement. Now we will talk about the 1993, the Oslo Accord. It was a peace plan between PLO and Israel. So Israel, after this accord, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, they recognized Israel as a nation, and PLO become the official political representative of Palestinians. The Palestine was given autonomy. The Palestine as a country, they are given some autonomy by the state of Israel, by the country of Israel. But the peace talk failed due to the rise of Hamas. Friends, if you don't know, then Hamas is a extremist terrorist organization, and they are more extremist, they are more nationalist, they are more rightward shift rather than the Palestinian Liberation Organization. And now we will see the incident that took place after the aftermath, the Intifada. We saw that during the course of Intifada, a large violence take place in the state of Israel, and thousands of Jews as well as Muslims, they were killed. So after this incident, there was a change in the thinking and policy of Israel. The Israeli people, the politicians of Israel, they became more nationalistic, and a rightward shift of the politics was seen and experienced in the country Israel. But again, in the other side, the Hamas became more influential, and the people, the Palestinian Muslims, they started supporting Hamas in spite it is a terrorist organization. So Hamas on the one side become more influential and extremist, and the Israeli politicians as well as the citizens, they become more nationalistic. So, and also there is a terrorist organization called Hezbollah, which always keeps attacking Israel. Hezbollah and Hamas, they are the two organizations which always want to destroy the country of Israel. They never recognize Israel, and their main agenda, their main aim, ambition is the destruction of Israel. And both the organization, it is said that they are indirectly funded by Iran. Friends, Hamas is a Gaza based organization and Hezbollah is a Lebanon based organization. Now coming to the major issues between the two countries in current, and that issues which do not let them prevail peace in the region. So first, I have already mentioned that is status of Jerusalem. Jerusalem is very complex place because of the availability of three religious sites of Christians, Muslims and Jews. And apart from this, there are around 5 million Palestinians who are living as a life of refugee. They are living in various parts of the world. Most of them, they are living in Palestine under the control of Israel, and most of them, they flew and they are living in the country of Syria and Iraq, and also in the Jordan, Lebanon, everywhere. So about 50 lakh of Palestinians, they are living a life of refugee. And why Israel do not want to take it? Because Israel population itself is only 80 lakh, only 8 million. The people of Israel, the Jewish people think that if we will take more than 5 million of Palestinian Muslims, then the demographic will be changed and there will be more problems created as riots and protests in the country Israel. And Israel's military occupation of the West Bank. Currently, the Israeli army and Israeli government, they promote the settlement in the West Bank. Friends, West Bank is the area of Palestine, but the control over that area is of the Israeli army. So Israeli army, they are doing nothing but they are settling people, the Jewish people over there. And finally, the water rights. Friends, I already told you that in the state, in the country Israel, there is scarcity of water, and the Jordan River or the West Bank, it is in the bank of the Jordan River, and there is good availability of water, and that's why the Israel wants to secure its water rights in the Jordan River, and that's why they wants to annex. So finally, this is all about the Israel-Palestine conflict. I hope you understand it well. So at the end, I would like to give a way forward. The two nations, there is nothing solution, and always the country, they will have to compromise. Both the party, they will have to propose the two nation theory. The Israeli, the Jewish people, they will have to accept Palestinian Muslims, the Palestine as a nation, and also the Hezbollah and Hamas, they must stop the terrorist activities and they should coexist peacefully as a two nation theory. And each party has to understand the legitimacy of each other's narrative. Friends, both the countries, both the Muslims as well as Jews, they are facing problems. The Jews, they are facing attacks of several terrorist organizations. The Hezbollah, Hamas, they keep attacking on them by rockets. They keep targeting civilians. They keep bombing the buses and everywhere. And also, the more than 5 million people of Palestinian Muslims, they are living a life of refugee. So both the parties, they must understand the legitimacy of each other's narrative. And finally, they should reach to the common ground by talks. Because violence is very bad thing. The nation of India, the father of nation of India, Mahatma Gandhi had said that violence is very bad. So both the parties, they should reach the common ground by talks. So this is all in this video. Thank you. Have a nice day.